Hello and welcome to another episode of the BashTalk podcast. Today I'm with none other than Uwais Majeed himself, the boxer from Burnley, as he's known. And Uwais, if you could just give us a quick intro about yourself. I just want to say a few words about who you are.
I'm Uwais Majeed, born and bred in Burnley, known mostly for my boxing. I've started competing at a young age. I got into boxing when I was around 10, 11 years old. Started competing at the age of 13 till the age of around 24-ish. I stopped competing as a boxer. So that's me.
So you're Burnley, born and raised, aren't you?
Yeah, born in Burnley General Hospital. And yeah, been in Burnley ever since. Just recently, like last year, I moved up to Lancaster, but too much of a drive going up and down, so I'm moving back to Burnley.
That's good to hear, man. It'd be good to have you back local anyway. But so start from right from the get-go. So you got into boxing at a young age. What made you actually get started into it? Was it just a case of you had a lot of energy and they just sent you somewhere to learn it, or did you always want to do it?
I think it started at home, to be honest. Like my uncles used to always do bits and bats with me, holding the pads and stuff, and I was punching it and stuff like that. But when I was younger, there was no one really about that was doing any boxing or anyone that knew where the boxing gyms were. Then like a group of lads at mosque, they started going to boxing, and it was like, oh yeah, we're going to boxing after mosque and stuff, do you want to come? So I said to my dad, look, I want to go boxing with these lot. And from there it kind of just kicked off. I started going, and when I started, there must have been around 15-20 lads from the local area going to the gym. Stuck to it, and I was buzzing, because I was like, everything I've learned at home, it's starting to pay off now. And I just loved it, to be honest. And then slowly, as time started going, all the lads started dropping off, because everyone likes to do something, but then only a few stick to it. And fortunately, I was one of the people that stuck to it, and everyone left and I was the last one there.
Wow. I
stuck to going to the gym 2-3 times a week at the start it was, and then before you knew it, I was competing.
Well, that's good. So you started, and then you got to a point where you're like the last guy left, but then at this time you're mainly training in Burnley, is that right?
Yeah, so I was training at Roach Boxing Gym from the age of 11 till the age of around 17, 18. So all my foundation, everything I learned was at this gym. Awesome coach, without him I won't be here today, because he's the one that showed me all the basics and all the fundamentals of boxing and stuff. So yeah, I've been, I just had to leave because I just needed like a new environment. And from the age of like 17, I stopped boxing for a while because I was at university studying. So because from the age of like 13 to like 17, it was non-stop boxing. Like I didn't have a social life. All I did was wake up in the morning around 6 o'clock, go running. After running, come home, shower up, straight to school. This is when I'm like 13 at high school. After that, come home, get ready, go to mosque. After mosque, jump on my bike, straight down to boxing. After boxing, home, do any homework I had, shower, bed. And that's all I did. That's all I knew.
4 years of your life, eh?
That's all I did. On Saturdays, like I might go out with my mates and chill out or whatever, but then Sunday morning I'm back on it. I'm back running, because in back of my head, I was competing quite regular. So my life was boxing. I got to the age of 17, 18. I was still at college, went to university, and I was just struggling to like balance everything. And that's where I started socializing a little and finding what social life was again, that kind of stuff. But I was and everything I did was to do with boxing. So when I went to university, I studied sport and exercise science. Then I topped up my degree by doing exercise and fitness management, which was a BA honours. But everything I did was for boxing. Everything I wanted to learn, the strength and conditioning side, the nutrition side, back of my head was all to do with boxing, and so everything was aimed at boxing. As soon as I left university, I thought I need a new gym. Because the gym I was at, all the older lads kind of like went off. So the gym was mainly like younger kids, and I needed like sparring and stuff. And that's when I went to a gym in Rawtenstall. I stayed there for, I think it was about 3 years. Started competing again.
Yep.
And then from there, I went to Manchester at Colliers and Moston, and I was there for around I think 2-3 years or something.
Okay, so when did you have your first competitive bout? Like, because I know when you start off, you kind of spar, or there might be interclub kind of stuff. But your first ever competition, like, talk us through it and how you felt.
So my first ever competition, I didn't do any like interclub boxing. You know, like when like the gym takes you to another gym to do the sparring, or any of that stuff. The first fight I had, like, I've done a bit. Obviously, I was doing sparring and stuff at the gym, you know. But the first actual fight I had was when I was 13. 13, I boxed in Stoke-on-Trent, and that was my first competitive fight that I had.
Right. And how did it go? But you know what, if you just excuses, we've got some background music on, and we did specifically ask for it to be shut off, so there's probably a bit of miscommunication. But so you've had that first bout, but how would you describe the actual experience of going into that bout?
So this first bout, my coach gave me about, I think it was like a week notice.
Oh wow, okay.
A week because I was like a, what do you call it, like a gym rat. I stayed in the gym. That's all I did. Whether I was fighting or not fighting, I was in that gym, staying fit and staying ready, because like I was just ready. That's all I did, you know. So it wasn't a case of you're fighting in a month and you need to get fit. He gave me a week notice for my first fight, which was it's not much, as you know, as people know that compete. And I was on weight anyway. I think my first fight was at 64 kilos. And he's like, oh, there's a fight for you at Stoke-on-Trent. You're boxing next week, and I was buzzing. I thought the last 2 years, like all I did was to train for this moment, was to fight, you know. And 2 years is a long time. Like some people only train for like 6 months, or you know, they have their first fight. I was in that gym for 2 years, and my coach just kept me there, you know, just training day in day out, grinding, and just getting better. And like I never understood, like, how come all these other lads from other gyms, they're in for 6 months and they have their first fight. My coach used to say to me, look, just once you have that first fight, you realise, well, I've kept you in the gym for 2 years. I had that first fight, and I just remember like weighing in. I was like, this is all mad. This, you know, like you're weighing in, your stomach's turning, you feel sick. You know, it was in a working men's club. You know, you can smell all the booze and that. You know, it was like, smell, it was mad. And then like it was my turn to fight. I was like, shit, man, here goes. Here it is. You know, and I went in, and 3 rounds we did. Yeah, it was a 3 2-minute round fight, and I battered the lad, like, and I got best fighter of the night as well on my first fight. And it was, I never forget that moment.
The thing is, you know, when you went into that fight, so like you were nervous, but then do you have to do any like big weight cut or anything for it, or were you already like kind of walking around at that weight anyway, so you could just feel like at ease?
Yeah, I was already at that weight, to be honest. Like most of my amateur career, only as I got older, I had to start cutting weight and stuff. But when I was younger, like my coach always said to me, look, box at the weight you're at, because it's not like you're unfit or you're carrying excess weight. Because I was just constantly in the gym. Like I said, as an amateur, you weigh in on the same day. You're not weighing in 24 hours before, and you can hydrate and stuff. You weigh in on the same day. Just say if I weigh in at 6 o'clock, it depends where you are on the card, but especially the lower weights, like you could be boxing like 2 hours after. So you haven't really got time to hydrate back up and stuff. So I won't say I did any major weight cuts, apart from like when I was boxing in championships and stuff. I remember one time boxing championships, I cut half a stone in 3 days, and I was only 16, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. You know, now, like I say to the people competing, they've got people around them, like myself, that can advise them about the nutrition, about how you should be training, what to do, what not to do. When I was younger, there was none of that. No one come up to me and said, there's a diet plan for you, or I had to do everything myself. You know, starving myself, didn't have a clue what it, like, even when I look back now, I think, I don't know how I made that weight. You know, running with sweatsuits and just everything that you shouldn't do, I was doing. And I went in that fight and I was drained. You know, I won the lad, but like I just about beat him. Like 2 rounds I was up. The last round I was just like stuck in there. You know, and I think one good punch would have put me down, you know, because I didn't have that backing behind me. But most of my career, I hadn't really had to do like any major weight cuts, to be honest.
Oh, that's good. So, could you see some people, they do that many, start to like wear on them after a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
That's probably why you still look young, isn't it?
Oh, I think so.
How old are you now?
I just turned 27 on Sunday, 30th of May.
Oh, a late happy birthday.
Thank you.
So the only other thing then is that, when we're talking about a competition, we're talking at the moment, we're talking about amateur level, aren't we? Now, you were at one point trying to go pro.
Yeah.
But there was obviously a few issues causing you not to be able to get to that next stage. So are you okay to talk about that?
Yeah, of course I am. I don't like a lot of people on my social media that I got, I think they don't actually know why I stopped boxing, like, because I was flying, you know, especially towards the end of my amateur career. Like I was flying, like I was beating everyone, you know. Everyone at the top level, you know, people boxing for Team GB, all the elite people that were tipped off to go to like Commonwealth Games and stuff like that. And I've turned pro, and I've good pros. Like some of the lads I've beat, they're like boxing for Commonwealth title and British titles and stuff now, you know. And that's the level I was at. So I was at a good level. But then all of a sudden, it just stopped. And like, even to this day, people ask me like, "Oh, when you're fighting next?" And the last fight I had was like, 3 years ago, you know. But what happened was, like I said, I was at that from Burnley. I was at Burnley gym. I've gone to Rottenstall gym now. I'm training there, and I had some good fights. My first fight back was against a guy who was ranked number 1 at light heavyweight. I went in boxing. My first fight back, I weighed in at 81 kilos. He weighed in at, I think it was 84 kilos, and they were like, "Do you still want to box him? He's 3 kilos heavy." And I was like, "Well, I'm here now." So
yeah.
And when you're fit, you're not fussed. You'll fight anyone. You're like, "Yeah, bring him."
Yeah.
It was probably one of my toughest fights I had, and I beat him. So in my head, like, I knew going pro for me weren't too far off, because when I was 17, like, there were talks of me turning pro then,
right.
With my coach. But back in my head, I always knew like I need to go to university, because if anything does happen, at least I've got a backing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the position I'm in now, because something did happen and I did go uni, and I've been able to set my own business up and stuff. But from that Rottenstall gym, I went to Manchester at Colliers and Moston to turn pro. I was there for 2 years, getting all the sparring in, you know, training as a pro trains. I was there 5 days a week. We used to start at 10 o'clock till 1 o'clock, or 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock the session was, so it was a long session. After that, I'd come back, I'd do a few PTs, and then at night I'd either have my strength and conditioning or running. So I was living a proper fighter's life.
Yeah.
And then it come to get my medical, and my medical was going through. But the thing with the boxing board, if someone comes back, when you send them a reply, it takes like a month for them to reply. And there was a problem with my eyes. So they said to me, "Look, your eyes are not up to scratch." So I was like, "What do you mean my eyes are not up to scratch? Like, I've been able to box my whole amateur career with my eyes. Like, you know, what's up with my eyes?" And they were like, "First it's your vision." But then as we got deeper into it, it was a condition with my eyes I have, which is called keratoconus, where your pupils shape like a rugby ball.
Okay.
So when light hits it, it bounces off a different direction. So I got some glasses and stuff, and just to help me know, like when I'm on computers and stuff, before that I didn't really have a clue that my eyes were that bad.
Okay.
But it's only when I started wearing these glasses I thought, wow, like, stuff's HD, you know, stuff's HD,
Yeah.
And especially when I was on that laptop or watching the TV, I was like, wow, man, like, bloody hell, there is something wrong with my eyes here.
Yeah.
And then from there, as we got into it, they were saying that the only way you're going to get around to this is if you have eye surgery. That's the only way that you're going to be able to box. So, and this now with the boxing board, it's been going on for like a year and a half, 2 years now.
Okay.
You know, where stuff's going back and forth. So I've just thought, right, I'm going to have to go private, and I'm going to have to go get my eyes done. So the only hospital they said you can get your eyes done is at Moorfield Eye Hospital in London, which is a private hospital, and they're known for like eye surgery and stuff and getting good results and stuff. So that's where I went, got eye surgery done. Wow. I was on like 30 eye drops a day for the next 2 months after that.
Okay.
You know, I remember getting my eyes done, and because I was still I was still like, they didn't put me to sleep. Is it called local anesthetic?
Localized, yeah.
So they put in eye drops and they've done surgery and stuff, and they said that your eyes might start stinging when you go outside. So I was like, right, no problem. So I got off, I thought, wow, this is not too bad. My eyes are right here. I've walked out. As soon as that wind's hit my eyes are shut. My eyes are closed because of how sensitive they were. Now my eyes were closed for the next 24 hours. Next 24 hours, my eyes were shut. Yeah, couldn't see nothing. So got back to the hotel. Like, my mum was there, my auntie, my cousin, and like, they're feeding me. They're saying to me, right, your tissues on your left hand side, your forks on here or whatever, or your water's here. They're feeding me, and then the only way I kind of knew my way around to like the bathroom, the room, because I visualised it before I went for my surgery. I knew where everything was in the room. I knew that the bed's here, the window's there, the bathroom's there. I had to feel myself away like around this room to get by.
Wow.
So I was blind for the next like 24 hours, and they were that sensitive. I had sunglasses on, I had a hoodie over my eyes, I had my hands over my eyes, and I still knew when like someone pulled out the phone, because the light was that sensitive.
Wow.
Yeah, but back in my head, all I was thinking was, it's all for boxing.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna get through this, and you've got your license.
Basically, the sacrifice in theory would have been worth it.
Yeah. And then after that, I come home and I couldn't spar for the next 6 months, I think it was. I couldn't train for the next 2 months. So I was home. I couldn't leave my house. I think it was for the next month. So all I was doing was, these eye drops were going in like to numb my eyes. They was that sensitive, and like antibiotics. But like I said, they started off around 36 eye drops a day, come down to 30, slowly start coming down to 15, then 5, and you know. And then from there, as I started getting better, because they improved my vision, and what they did was they strengthened my cornea as well. So the front layer of my eye was softer than a normal person's.
Okay.
So when they do this test where they put your chin on this thing and it blows air into your eye and it measures the pressure of your eye. Yeah. Mine was a lot softer than a normal person, which I didn't know. So they strengthened my cornea, my vision got better. I had all the letters now from the surgeon who did my eyes saying, look, his eyes are right now to compete, and even if he does get punched in his eye socket and stuff, the glove's not going to go inside his eye, because the eye socket's like protecting the eye.
Yeah.
So I had everything. I was buzzing. I thought, right, we're on here, we're ready to rumble. So I got this done, sent off for my license, and now I'm having to wait now to get the thingy back, to get the call back.
Yep.
But this now is like 8 months has gone now since I got my eye surgery, so I'm training again, I'm getting fit, the first fight's come through, so I'm making my professional debut now. And I'm saying to my coach, we'll not wait till my card comes through from the boxing board. He's like, look, we're clear, we've got everything, we've got the paperwork, we've got everything. So it got to the stage where I was matched up, I was boxing at Middleton Arena.
There was a poster and everything, wasn't there?
There was a poster, yeah, there was posters flying about. The full town was buzzing that he's about to box, he's about to make his pro debut, and he's about to put Burnley on the map.
Yeah.
I think it was like 29th of July or something I was competing. So everything's set now, yeah. Tickets have gone out. I've sold loads of tickets. I've sold like 5-6 tables. We're flying. I've started cutting weight. Now we're on the last week now, so I'm fighting on the Saturday. I've started cutting weight like from the Sunday.
Yeah.
So all my litres of water, vitamin C's going down. I'm thinking I've only got like half a stone to go. I'm drinking my water, and it was like, I still remember it was like a Wednesday. I've been matched up, everything's set. Yeah, we're fighting on Saturday. I've got my bloody boxing clothes made and everything. Yeah. Everything's set. Got to the Wednesday, I've had a call from a manager. I go, hey mate, you alright? He goes, mate, I've got some bad news. I go, what? He goes, the boxing board have knocked your eyes back again. I go, what do you mean they've knocked my eyes back again? I go, they can't knock my eyes, I've just had surgery. And he's saying, no, well, the test that you've gone for your eyes, it hasn't met up. It hasn't met up with the like criteria thing. I'm like, listen, you're having me on, man. It's not happening. And then all of a sudden, because I was on such a high, all of a sudden, like the penny started dropping. That look, you're not fighting.
Yeah.
So from there, everything just come crashing down.
It's the highs and the lows, isn't it?
And when I was on a high, I was on a like a high, like I was flying. And yeah, it come down, hit a low, and I was like, shit, man. And like, back in my head now, I'm still thinking, I've had plenty of knockbacks. Like, just another knockback. Like, if I'm not fighting on Saturday, I'm sure I'll be fighting in a few months until they sort it out.
Yeah.
So, still staying positive, and then I've had to collect all these tickets back off people. Every person I'm seeing, like, I sold hundreds of tickets. And I gave them all out personally to everyone. It's not like I gave, like, you collect your 50, and then I spent the next 2 days driving around. All I did was collecting tickets, giving people's money back and stuff. And every person I'm seeing, I've had to explain, like, what's going on.
The same story over and over.
The same story over and over again. After that, I thought that. So I was back in the gym, back training again, back sparring again, and I'm going back and forth with the boxing ball now. And then it come to a stage like 3-4 months later, I'm thinking, I had to convince myself that this is not going to happen. The boxing, it's not like, it's been going on for like 2.5 years now. Like, it's not going to happen. And then from there, I've had to make a decision, like, what am I actually doing in my life? Am I gonna compete? Am I not gonna compete? Am I gonna still travel to Manchester every day because I'm going back and forth? It costs money. And then I made the decision. I sat down with my coaches and stuff, and I said, what I'm gonna do is, I'm not gonna box. I'm not gonna come here until I get my license. If I get my license, I'll be back. If I don't get my license, I need to crack on in my life, because, you know, life's short. I can't keep chasing a dream that is not going to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of costs involved. If you just count just the fuel to get to Manchester and back, 5 days, 6 days
the
a
amount
week.
of money I spent to try to get my license, you'd be shocked. It cost around $8.5 to get my eyes done. That was just to get my eyes done. Then I was travelling back and forth from London, staying in hotels. Then I had to get my boxing. Like, each time I went for my boxing license, it cost like $550 or something it was, because you get brain scans and all that. So I've had 2 of them now. So it was costing a bit, you know. And then driving back and forth, you know, that's £100 on fuel a week there, you know. But luckily I had some good sponsors. And one sponsor I want to shout out is Glenn Slater Contractors. Yeah. Okay. Glenn Slater, I swear down, what this guy did for me, no one's done for me, apart from like my parents and stuff. Whether I was competing or not competing, Glenn Slater was sponsoring me all the way through. Even when I had my break at university, he was still sponsoring me. I was saying, look, Glenn, just cut it off, we'll start again. And he was like, no, don't worry, like, you know, put it to something. So I get all my nutrition and stuff like that with it. But Glenn Slater, even when I stopped competing, right at the end, Glenn was like, look, it's alright, mate, I'll still keep that sponsorship coming, because you know, you can put it into the kids and stuff. When I got to a stage where I had to meet him and say, look, Glenn, don't give me no more money. It's done. Yeah. You know, you'd rather give that money to someone else who's competing or whatever. So Glenn Slater, if you're watching this, thank you very much for sorting me out.
You sound like a cool guy.
Yeah, he's a very cool guy, man. But then from there I had to make a decision and think, you know what, I need to get into full-time coaching. And then from there I've switched it, had to coaching, you know, for about 6 months to a year, my head was battered because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know whether I was coming or going, didn't know whether I was competing. And, you know, you're on such a low, and then everyone you're seeing is bringing you up and saying, oh, you're fighting again.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
same conversation again.
And I'm like, man, like, it's one of them, innit? It is what it is. But here I am today, you know, maybe, so, you know, it might be a blessing in disguise. Maybe from this, you know, God saved me from something else. You know, so I know maybe my thing wasn't to box, maybe my thing was to coach, you know, because now I'm here in this gym, I'm coaching some good fighters, you know, they're competing at a high level, and, you know, I buzz off them, and I buzz off, you know, the full team that's here.
In terms of your coaching experience, you've had quite a few people come through now who've gone on to do white collar events, who've gone on to do amateur events. Amateur.
Yeah.
Have you got any particular people that come to mind?
So the amateur is normally like in the MMA and stuff. So I've had like Nelson, Saf. We've got Saf. You've got Hiza from Burnley. You've got Sakib. Shout out to Oasis Villas, Bad Burgers.
Yes.
Yeah. They're like the more amateurs, but you have like Simon and all these. But you have a lot of amateurs that are in and out. So they'll train when they need to fight and stuff, and then they're gone. And then so it's always in and out. You know, your white collar boxing is the same. You know, they come like, we've got Ella on the wall over there. Like I said about her, she's had she fought a girl that's had 34 fights. You know, she was with me for like 2-3 months, did everything I asked for her, and she went in there and knocked the girl out in the second round.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Colin Jones I had, he's a strongman, so he's known for in Berlin as being a strongman basically, you know, winning competitions and stuff. And he had his first boxing match. This was about a few years ago, and the lad he was fighting against, he was like an experienced lad, and he was tipped to win. Colin come in here and I think he did 12 weeks with me, solid. And this guy, because he's got like that mentality about training, he was on the ball. And he went in there and I think he knocked him out in the third round, I think it was.
Right.
Yeah. But there's loads of white collar boxers that have been in here and have trained and they've competed and won and stuff. Professionals at the moment, I'm working with Shoaib Youssef, which is, you know, he's smashing it, you know, he's doing good things.
He won his last fight?
He won his last fight in awesome fashion, you know, he's going places.
And that was a full-on, just a striking exchange fight?
Yeah. You know what it is with like some people out in MMA, I'll give you the example of Shoaib. Because in MMA they have so much tools, they have the hands, they have the kicks, grappling, wrestling, the full job lot, knees, elbows. Sometimes like when I was coaching in boxing, when he was going into his fights, like the other stuff would like work better for him.
Yeah.
So his grappling might work better for him, or knees and elbows, kicks might work better for him. But in this fight he went in, I think it was like one of the fights I can say where his boxing was flying all the way through for him. And he's at that stage, because I've had Shoaib for like 3-4 years now. He's at that stage now where you know, he can go in there and he can be confident and rely on his hands because he knows he can do damage with them. And all this camp we were mainly working on left hook and a straight backhand, and he went in there and if you watch the fight, them were the punches he was using, and he was like, he was buzzing and got the win. Yeah, he's definitely going places.
Right, and then to round it off then, so just a quick one, your favourite punching technique?
I think my favourite punch technique, I quite like body shots, me, to be honest. You know, even though I'm like long and rangy, and I love banging the body, because, you know, you bang the body, the head falls, doesn't it?
That's actually a good way to
or a left hook to the head. Like when I was competing, I'm not quite a few people out with a left hook to the head. That tends to work for me. As a southpaw, that's where my power is.
Okay.
So yeah.
And then this is just a user submitted question, and so to sum it up, what's the best piece of boxing advice, like a short piece of advice that you have ever received?
Consistency.
One liner, I like it.
Consistency.
Favorite boxer?
Pernell Whitaker. You know, this is an old school fighter, but his head movement, I used to buzz off, like the way he used to avoid punches and stuff. Southpaw, he's a southpaw boxer, awesome fighter. Because when I was competing, my main thing was head movement. Like I got like it got battered into my head. You know, hit and don't be hit. You know, I wasn't one of those fighters that threw like 2 punches and puts his hands up and takes punches on his head, on his hands. Right. Like my job was to go in there, hit and don't get hit. Like don't even take a punch on your glove. That was my main goal. So yeah, I think it's got to be Pernell Whitaker. His head movement was awesome.
That's good. And then stylistically, that's basically who you kind of followed, you could say that?
Yeah, I think it was one of the fighters. Like I've watched quite a lot of boxers, to be honest. Like, you know, you got your Roy Jones, you got your Pernell Whitaker, your Floyd Mayweather. But even like people like that, like Floyd Mayweather and stuff, a lot of people watch him how he is now. You know, I used to watch videos of Floyd Mayweather when he was like 18, 20, because he was a different fighter. You know, he was sharp, he had that head movement, you know, that good jab to the body. Now people see him and they try like copying him, like standing there and doing all the shoulder roller stuff, which is good. But why are you fighting like a 40-year-old Mayweather if you're 20? You should be fighting like when he was 20, like sharp as anything.
Yeah.
So I think it's a build-up of different fighters that I've watched over the years.
Would you say you're more of a counter striker?
I would say I'm more of a counter striker, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not. I normally fight on my back foot. I let them punch and I counter. And if I'm not getting the counter, like I'll give them something where they counter, so I'll start counting the counter.
Yeah.
You know, I try when I was competing, even now when I'm coaching, I try using my brain more than anything. You know, I'm not one of those people that used to go into the fight and just like all heart, guns blazing.
Yeah.
Pot luck. I tried my best to box with my brain.
You got to preserve those brain cells, haven't you?
Oh, you've got to preserve them brain cells. My last fight I had, I knocked the lad out in the 3rd round. But when I was on about counter the counter, I was southpaw, he was orthodox. Now what this lad was doing was, every time I was shooting my backhand, which is my left hand, he was trying to slip and counter over the top.
Yeah.
So I clocked this on from the 1st round, and he was looking for that all the way through. So I thought, right, no problem. So what I was doing was, I was feinting with it. So I was pretending to shoot, and he was slipping. And as he was slipping trying to punch, I was using my jab as an angle punch to take him off balance. And it worked like all the way through for me. And he kept doing the same thing. So I thought, I might as well keep doing the same thing to him, because if it's not broke, why fix it?
Yeah, so you get to like round 3, did you say?
Round 3, and well, round 3 came, and he came in close. I just heard him going. I thought, wrong time to get tired here, lad. we've got one more round to go.
Right.
And I caught him with a short uppercut and just seen his head go up. And then I thought, right, he's going here. So then I think I hit him with like 5 punches. I think it was like a right uppercut, left hook. And then as soon as I hit him with a right hook, he was like already knocked out kind of thing.
Yeah, going.
He was like, his hands come down, he's already knocked out on the spot. So then I hit him with a left hook, and I think another right hook, and he was gone. And I think he was down for like 10 minutes or something. Like paramedics and stuff had to come and get him. But he was a tough lad, and he was like, I'm sure he was boxing. He was competing for Team GB at the time as well. So you know the high level opponents I was competing against. But
it is what it is. We're here now. But I think just to round it off, then, is there anything that you want to say, whether it's in terms of because you have a business now, and you are full-time coach now, and also a proud parent too. So is there anything that you want to say to the people of Burnley or the wider audience, just to round us off today?
Well, as a coach, you know, you're more than happy to contact me for personal training, one-to-one boxing. Bring your kids down on Saturdays, 12 till 1 and 1 till 2. After not a champion in 3 years, I'll give you your money back. Hey. Yeah, that's it, to be honest.
And then you're on the usual social media.
So it's on Instagram, I'm on Magic_Majeed. On Facebook, I'm on Uwais Majeed. And on Snapchat, I'm on Magic_Majeed as well.
So yeah, get following, get tagging. And just want to say thank you very much for doing this. Apologies in advance. I'm going to try and fudge the audio as much as possible, because obviously there's people training in the gym, people coming in and out. There's going to be a bit of background noise, but I'm going to try and tidy that up as much as possible, so you can just keep the focus on those. And I just want to say thank you, Uwais, for doing this, because it was kind of short notice as well. So, and I did make you wait, so no worries. But yeah, BashTalk over and out.